What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast, episode number 71. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about and with a bunch of different college coaches from across the area at the Division 1, 2, and 3 level. Super excited to release this, guys. It's been a lot of work, a lot of fun talking to all these different coaches from around the area. Super excited to get into it. But if you haven't already, go back, check out my long form interviews that I released this summer. Joe Marcara, Mackenzie McGuire, Ty McGeary, and just recently, Rob Walker, who I just sat down with, episode number 70. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, go back and check out those long form episodes. I really enjoyed having those guys over. And coaches, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, taking time out of your busy schedule this time of year. I know it's a lot, sitting down and talking about your squad. But yeah, man, a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy this edition of the NCAA preview, brought to you by Switch Custom Apparel.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Joining me now on the call, we have Nate Yetzer, head coach of Roanoke College. How are you, sir?
Great. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Super pumped up to have you on. Not too far, right down there in Virginia.
Yep.
We're going to talk about him, I'm sure. I get snaps from Ty Warner of your guys' facilities, man. It looks like a beautiful place. Talk about what it's like to coach at a school tucked in Virginia. That is.
Well, I've been down here a long time, so I actually I was the head assistant at Binghamton University in New York, and I hated the weather, and luckily Coach Roby got hired down at Virginia Tech, and I came down with them, and shortly after, and I've been really down here ever since, and I mean, I always tell recruits, tell parents, I told Ty and Coach Ty, we'll talk about him obviously, and Coach Blake, that you can't really beat the quality of life down here. So I've been very blessed to, most coaches have to move around quite a bit. I've been very blessed to live in this area for the last, I guess, let's see, 15, 16 years. So
there you go. Great. Not a bad life.
Not bad at all.
Good stuff, man. Okay. So how has the off-season program gone for you guys so far?
I mean, preseason was awesome, man. Our guys killed it. I mean, this has been the best preseason I think we've ever had as a program. And even the college I was at, Ferrum College, right, the program I started there, I don't think any preseason has been as good as this one. I think just guys holding each other accountable, and the amount of talent we have in the room now, there's really not any days off for some of these guys. And I couldn't be more excited for the year. I just think I'm excited to get out there and see, where we're at. And but I'm pretty optimistic.
So you talk about seeing where you're at. As you guys are going through your preseason workouts, have you identified any leaders or captains in your room?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we have, we're very blessed now that we have some leadership immersion. Obviously, it's only year 3 of our program. So, we didn't have a lot of seniors, and we really only have 2 seniors on the team. But no, yeah, we definitely have some leaders immersion. And I think we have a bunch of guys that lead in different ways, which is really good, and I think our probably most outspoken leader is Matt Caffarello, who's a junior for us, and probably he's going to leave school as the all-time win leader for Roanoke College, and just has really bought in from day one. And he's a guy that I lean on to kind of see where we are is inside the locker room as far as how guys are feeling and all this stuff. So and we have a plethora of guys that are leaders right now, which is a good thing.
All right, so next thing I got to talk to you about, and I feel like this is going to be an interesting question for you, just based off your background. You talk about following Coach Roby down with Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Recruiting, building a roster, that has changed so much over the last 5-10 years with the transfer portal, and these high school kids are really, really good. A lot of them are really polished, ready to go.
Yep.
Right off the rip, right? So how do you as you're getting this program going, how do you build your roster?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think recruiting's changed too much in a lot of ways. I think still you should always try to get the best kids and the kids that are right fit for your program. I think the training's changed a lot, and the fact that you're right, these kids come in, some of these kids are unbelievable. Some of these kids know way more wrestling than I knew. Even as a graduating a senior in college, I think. The level of wrestling has just gone up tremendously. And so I think, but I think the downside of that is, a lot of kids have a lot of miles on them, and,
Yeah.
as athletes, you only have so much tread on the tires. So I think it's important to kind of realize that and to, our preseason was awesome this year. But I do think it was one of the lightest preseasons we ever had, and with reason. I mean, I think guys came in ready to go, and they know a lot of wrestling already. Now it's just about making sure you get them lean and ready to kind of handle the long season. So
You talk about the long season, the grind, the
yeah.
mileage on the tires, right? How do you build your schedule to get those guys not only ready but healthy, maintain their healthiness into March?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be intentional, right? You got to kind of pick and choose, and I think that starts with recruiting too. You got to recruit depth, right? And it's a hard thing to do sometimes. The last school that was really hard to do because kids would leave school if they weren't starting, right? So here, I do think, and one of the things that drew me to Roanoke College was the fact that kids are willing to be patient because it's such a great school academically, and just a great school to be at. A lot of fun, and so I think. I think nowadays you got to be 2 deep, 3 deep at weights because you want to be able to give guys the time to rest and kind of be smart on how you use them. The older guy gets, generally they need less matches. They just need quality matches, right? So, as a general rule, right? So, I mean, our schedule every year, this year 3, obviously, is the best schedule we've ever had. So, and I may regret that. I don't know, but I think it's a very challenging schedule, and
It's
one
always
where
an
we're
interesting question to me,
yeah.
man, because it's like, how do you judge that? How do how do you try to base that and get those guys ready? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, but the good thing is, again, I think, listen, we want to win everything, right? We talk about, try to win at everything, school, every match we want to try to win, but big picture of mine, sometimes we have to take a back seat to winning and just make sure our guys, like it or not, at the end, we're judged on the end of the year, right? We're judged on how they do it to the regional tournament, the national tournament. So you have to keep that in mind as well, too.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay, next thing I got for you. Wrestle offs. How's that look for you guys? I know this is an interesting question for me because some guys come out and they're like, "We don't do wrestle offs. We don't believe in that." Other guys are like, "We put them under the lights. We put them on a stream. We want to see if we can, put them under pressure a little bit." What do you guys? What's that look like for you guys?
So we don't really do this is the first year actually we're not doing wrestle offs, right? Because I think what it does is kind of, for us, last year really muddied the waters as far as like a kid, some young kids, they improve a lot throughout the season, right? And then at the end of the year, if the guys are pretty close and one guy beat the wrestle off, you got to have we had 3 wrestle offs for starting positions at the last week of the season, which that can't happen, right? So, so with this year we're doing a little something different. We're not doing that, but we've been doing simulation days to kind of simulate competition, and really honestly, we have a full schedule. We actually more dates than we're allowed to, and because we're unattached to some of them, and so I think we use kind of the first couple tournaments as kind of like a wrestle off, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So next thing I have for you, and we've touched on it a little bit, but man, I know that you got a good friend of mine on your coaching staff, Ty Warner. He's a hilltopper. He's a legend. What besides him? Because I know a lot about him. What's your coaching staff look like?
We're very, very lucky. I mean, this is the first year I think we got a whole staff, and we're all kind of hitting on all cylinders. First, guys been with me since the very beginning. Coach Rosenbaum, he's our recruiting coordinator, does a phenomenal job. He does most of our social media stuff. He's all over that. Just does a great job and great in the room too. He works with a lot of our big guys. Then obviously Coach Warner, a guy that runs a lot of our wrestling workouts. Ty, obviously his record speaks for himself. 2-time national champ, 5-time All-American. And he's really started to come in his own recruiting, right? So I think when you're right out of college, is maybe not intimidated by recruiting, but just don't know really how to, kind of stay
Find your niche,
with.
right?
Yep, exactly. Yep. So But he's really grown in that role as well too. So I really let him take control of a lot of the workouts too, the wrestling workouts. So I trust him, and I think all three of us too are pretty blue collar. I'm from near Cleveland, Ohio, and and then Coach Rosenbaum's from Abingdon, Virginia, which is way out in Southwest Virginia, and so I think we kind of lean on that. I think we all work together pretty well because we I think one of our core values is toughness, and I think we're all raised in that. So as you know, Ty's a pretty tough dude. So
A little bit, yeah.
yeah. And then we just brought on board a director of operations this year too, Amy Hughes, who's phenomenal at the fundraising part and really makes my job a lot easier with a lot of the administrative stuff. So, and then we also have 3 or 4 volunteer coaches that do a phenomenal job too. So we're super blessed, man. They make me look really smart.
Got a nice little army with you, man. That's good stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Next question. And
Yeah.
My co-host Marky, he's backstage kind of quarterbacking, and he slipped this question in there, and I love it. So, do you guys have any good warm up games, or do you let the kids get into some games before they get into practice?
Oh yeah, so we're a big dodgeball team. So
okay,
we're dodgeball before wrestling, and then we're ultimate frisbee before lifting when we're out when the weather's nice. Yeah, yep. So
what form of dodgeball are we talking?
We just do the the kind of the basic one, honestly. Once you're out, you're out. You can't come back in, and it gets pretty competitive in there. I'm telling you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm usually one of the first ones out because I'm.
Oh come on, coach! You can't let them get you that early.
I'm super aggressive. That's just my nature. In my nature. So, Ty's, he's all small. Yeah, he's skinny too back there. And he hides in the back until it's about done. Blake's actually pretty good. Coach Rosenbaum's pretty good at it. So, but yeah, we have a blast, man. I think it's important to have that fun too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Coach. Any streaming options for your matches? Can we watch you guys?
Yeah. Yep. If you just go to the Roanoke Maroons, RoanokeMaroons.com, you can stream it while we're matching streaming online. Obviously, we're hosting the Southeast Open, which used to be the Hokie Open at our place, and that'll be on Flow Wrestling. And then we also do I'm gonna do a little plug here, but we also do a live podcast. We actually do a live show, and we do it on a podcast and all that.
Plug your podcast on the podcast. Let's go, baby.
Yep. So we actually, I think next week's our 45th show or something like that. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. We have some pretty cool guests in there. I think the next episode is kind of a preview for the year, and then the next episode, I think we're having the commissioner of the ODAC conference on. But yeah, it's good. We have a good time on there. So
very good stuff, man. All right,
we're gonna have to get you guys on there sometime, kind of reciprocate.
Absolutely, man. I'd love to come on and talk some Whipio wrestling, talk some NCAA wrestling, anything.
There you go.
All right. Sure. Next thing I got for you, actually, the last thing I have for you. Anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go?
Just our whole people that support our program, man. Our school is so on board with wrestling. I think this is one of the reasons why I've had success early on is because the school is all about wrestling. You know what I mean? And that's a pretty rare thing, right? So I think for any recruits and stuff listening out there, I mean, if you want to go a place that really appreciates wrestling, right, and that really supports you, I think Roanoke College is a fantastic place. That's one of the reasons why we're recruiting right now. We're crushing it. Although we lost 2 guys to Edinboro, which is my alma mater, Gavin Sweeka and Parker Senenpool. I'm sure you know those guys.
Yeah, a little bit. And Matt Hill, actually, I have a connection with Matt. He's a Freedom boy, and I have family all throughout Freedom. So yeah. But Edinburgh's a good school, man. It's it's pretty up there. But the weather difference up there is a little bit different, my friend.
No doubt. Well, if we have to lose a kid, all right. If we have to lose a kid, not coming to Roanoke, at least he's going to Edinboro. So Parker, Gavin, congratulations, I guess.
I love that. Coach, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us.
Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Amen.